Crying is one of the most natural human emotions, which is directly associated with pain, hurt, joy, exhilaration, and overwhelm. It's easy to assume that narcissists are too cold-hearted to cry. However, that's not always the case. While some narcissists never cry, others can cry at the click of a finger. Let's explore why narcissists cry and what's behind their tears. Why do narcissists cry? The fact is, narcissists don't feel sadness or remorse like we do, but they can imitate it incredibly well, if the circumstances are ripe to serve their agenda. If you've ever witnessed a full-on pity party thrown by the narcissist, complete with heaving shoulders, racking sobs and a torrent of tears, you would be forgiven to second-guess what I'm about to tell you. The only reason a narcissist cries is for manipulation. The narcissist's tears are intricately designed to control other people and situations, which means those tears need to be especially believable. So, if the narcissist doesn't genuinely feel the heavy emotions required for such a physical display of sadness, how do they manage to pull it off? The answer is quite simple. After all of their years watching you cry because of the things they've said and done, plus through their observations of others crying, they know how to replicate it down to the finest detail. Given that there is no actual grief, remorse, pain or sadness behind the narcissist's crying, the whole act amounts to nothing more than a Hollywood performance. Do narcissists believe their own tears? On some level, the narcissist does believe their own crying, but probably not for the reasons you'd think. In a moment of loss, pain or sadness, the narcissist isn't authentically feeling any of those heavy human emotions, because they lack the capacity to do so. What they're experiencing is the utter fear that they're about to lose their control over a person and/or situation. That feeling of terror inside of them is definitely a real feeling, because losing control for them equates to losing precious narcissistic supply. Let's use some examples. You're about to walk out the door because you've had enough of their behavior. They cry to play on your empathy and get you to stay, so that you'll continue handing over your energy and resources to them. Or, a close family member of theirs dies. The narcissist cries for themselves, because they've lost a valuable ally, who believed their false reality and helped to prop it up for them. The narcissist doesn't cry for you or anybody else. They cry for themselves and what they're set to lose, or have just lost. Narcissists cry to gain sympathy. This is where their emotional stuntedness comes into play, and you're really just dealing with an overgrown toddler. Their tears will pull at the heartstrings of empathetic people, who will lend a listening ear, try to help the narcissist out, and just generally offer support and attention. The narcissist will make others feel guilty and ashamed if they don't feel sorry for them and help them. In essence, the narcissist is refusing to take responsibility for themselves, and their false self expects others to bear that responsibility for them. What all of this attention equals is narcissistic supply. Crying places the narcissist at the center of the universe again, whereby they are the central focus. As soon as anyone tries to hold the narcissist accountable for their behavior, their ego will immediately project the very things that they were doing back onto the victim. In doing so, they effectively turn the true victim into the perpetrator, in their false reality. If a narcissist's ego ever feels as though it's under attack, it will target the person responsible, line them up and set out to annihilate them. Throughout this storyline, they will be portraying themselves as the victim, which all serves to justify their atrocious behavior. The narcissist will cry as much as necessary, to reinforce that their storyline is real, and gain sympathy from others in the process. Narcissists cry to control. Being the master manipulators that they are, narcissists have no issue with crying to control other people. Covert narcissists are particularly adept at turning on their crocodile tears, to get those around them bending to their will. They'll cry if they don't get their own way, they'll cry if they're not getting enough attention, and they'll cry if you try to escape. For the narcissists who scarcely cry, in the rare moment that they do, it will dramatically enhance the effect. Their tears in this case make you think that they must genuinely, deeply care, if they've actually been brought to tears. You can expect a non-crying narcissist to turn on the waterworks, if you're trying to leave their abusive cycle and break free. This is a panicked effort on the narcissist's behalf, to retain control over you and keep you on board as their primary supply. Narcissists cry out of fear. The whole purpose of a narcissist's life is to continuously seek out and extract narcissistic supply. Without their supply, they will fall into a pit of darkness, resentment and self-loathing, which is who they truly are underneath it all. Anyone who's ever been with a narcissist will tell you that glimpses of this hidden monster will emerge when they are low on supply. No matter which type of narcissist you're dealing with, the fear of losing their supply is terrifying to them. They are no different to an ice addict, who will lash out and do whatever it takes to get their hands on another hit of their drug. For a narcissist, not having a source of supply is a fate worse than death. Whether they're at risk of losing their partner, losing their public status, or losing something else that feeds them supply, the fear will be visceral to them. The problem is that healthy, empathetic people don't realize they're facing a devil in disguise, and will fall for the narcissist's tears, hook, line, and sinker. That's how people manage to keep getting reeled back into abusive relationships, over and over again. I can attest to these exact tactics, which my narcissistic ex used on me countless times, keeping me bound to him, and sucking out my life force energy for almost 20 years. When narcissists don't cry, if you've been around a narcissist long enough, you'll probably notice that they often don't cry, in situations that actually should induce an emotional response. There are many situations in life, which can be highly stressful or emotional, where non-narcissists can easily become overwhelmed with emotion. The birth and death of family members, financial stress, medical issues, successes and achievements with hobbies and work, just to name a few examples. Yet, the narcissist remains neutral in their expression. What is with that? On a base level, the narcissist doesn't actually feel happy, sad or stressed, therefore having no expression of emotion is quite natural. The only reason they're not choosing to activate the emotion manipulation is because they deem that there's nothing in it for them. If crying or feigning any type of emotion will bring them a payoff, you can bet your bottom dollar that they'll use it. Do narcissists cry when someone dies or at funerals? Sure. A narcissist may cry when someone dies, but not for the deep sadness that we would feel at the loss of someone close. In fact, some narcissists will show no emotion at all with the passing of a friend or family member. Here's why a narcissist may cry when someone dies. Attention. To shift the spotlight of the whole event onto them and claim as much of the focus as possible. Loss of supply. Crying for themselves because they've lost a valuable source of supply. Feeling ripped off, if they didn't get a sizable inheritance. Enhance their public image, if they need to be seen as the grieving person. Anger. How selfish of them to leave me. How dare they? Do narcissists cry alone? Given that crying is only ever used as a form of manipulation, there is no logical reason for a narcissist to cry when they're alone. You can expect a narcissist to turn on the tears when you walk into the room, giving off the idea that they have been crying. However, that's a further manipulation to play on your empathy. Unless they're grieving the loss of supply in their life and are feeling extremely low because of that, narcissists won't cry alone. Do narcissists cry during movies? Narcissists don't typically cry during movies, as an empathetic person does. But, if they can truly see themselves in the character on the screen, and feel that story as their own, they can certainly cry. Their tears aren't a show of empathy towards the external story or person though, the tears are purely for themselves. If they want to give you the impression that they're a sensitive new age person, they can definitely feign tears and emotion in movies, during the love bombing phase. These tears are used to pre-program you with a false version of who they are. Do narcissists cry when you leave them? The one phase of the relationship that you can almost 100% count on for the narcissist to cry is when you finally get the strength to free yourself from them. They won't cry when you're not there and they are left alone. No, they'll save those tears for when they need to put on a public show about how victimized and broken they are at your abusive hands. They will also save their tears for you. They want to shame you and make you feel guilty as hell for pulling your life force energy away and leaving them. They hope to use your compassion and good morals against you as a weapon to get you back and hold you there. Narcissist fake crying. Narcissists really were born for the stage. The narcissist fake crying is so real, they can fool even the most intelligent among us. Something I struggled with, after leaving a 2-decade-long narcissistically abusive relationship, was the fake crying. As an empath, I fell for my ex's fake crying multiple times. Narcissists learn how they need to react and behave in certain situations to achieve their goals. And for that, they win the Oscar. For more on narcissism, head to unmaskingthenarc.com.